Chatzkel Abramsky, the chief rabbi of London, used to give a chumash here every Friday night. And many of the attendees were people who were distant from Torah and mitzvahs, but they were interested in becoming closer. Came Parshas Kiseitze, and Reb Chatzkel was in a quandary. The entire week he was strategizing and agonizing, how can I properly, adequately present the Parsha of Eishes Yefas Toyar, the Parsha that permits a person during war to compromise standards of Kedusha. How do I give this over to this crowd? And after a week of deep thought, he walked into the shir and he said, before we open our Chumashim, I would like to tell you something. This parsha is the mandate that everything in the Torah is obligatory, but everything in the Torah is doable and accessible and manageable. And he proceeded with the parsha of Eishes Yefas Toyar. The Torah tells us, Chazal tell us, Lo dibra Torah ela keneged yetzer hara. The Torah addresses the yetzer hara. Ad sheyisa'ena be'iser. The Torah says we do not want chas v'shalom that a person should transgress, and therefore the Torah permitted the relationship with the Eishes Yefas Toyar. And Reb Chatzkel said, could this possibly be? Because something is difficult, because there's a challenge which is difficult. The Torah does away with all the different transgressions. The Torah throws in the towel. That means anytime something is difficult, we say it's okay. Everything becomes mutter because it was hard to do. How could that possibly be? Said Reb Chatzkel that the Torah made one exception, and this is the proof that there's only one exception and everything else is doable. This exception was made for people, Talmidei Chachamim, not just regular Talmidei Chachamim, but only the Talmidei Chachamim that were eligible to go to the army, Talmidei Chachamim that did not have any Averis in their hands, that had no Averis biyodim, they were loisoch min tefillah l'tefillah, not one iota of an Avera. These were the most special people that graced Klal Yisrael. And they were put into a situation of war that they were forced into the battlefield. They were forced into a situation where the Einam Yehudim, their means of warfare was to distract the soldiers, to distract them by putting in front of them challenges of Kedusha, where they were entrapped that they could not leave the battlefield and they could not escape the matzav. They could not get out of that situation. So there the Torah says, I, the Torah, the Eibishter, put you in a situation that's not escapable. I have to make it endurable. And therefore the Torah says, instead of letting an Isser happen, we must permit this. But no other situation does the Torah permit it. That means the Torah is giving a message that no matter what the Isser is, no matter what the mitzvah is, it's doable. And I promise you that it's doable. Reb Shmuel Birnbaum asks the following kasha. In Parshas Kisisa it says, Ha'osher lo yarbe v'hadal lo yamit. Asks the Meir Rosh Hashiva, how is it possible to give a commandment that a dal, an impoverished, poverty-stricken person, must give a machzas hashekel? How do you know that through the eternity of Klal Yisrael, everybody will be able to afford it? How could the Torah mandate something that may be impossible? Answers Reb Shmuel, if the Torah says to do something, then the Torah says, I will make sure you're able to do it. If a person wants to do it, if a person has the will to accomplish it, if the person puts in the effort to control himself from transgressing, there's an automatic siyata d'shmaya. When one says, I cannot do it, I cannot do it, I cannot do it, the message of the parsha of Eishes Yefas Toyar is, you could do it. You could do it, and you will overcome the nisayon.